Hi everyone, it's Eric, and as soon as I got home from work, my phone started buzzing and I got this notification right here. And what was exactly delivered? Well, the YouTube title has actually ruined that for you. Is this the brand new Nintendo 3DS XL? It has finally arrived in the West. Now we're going to ignore this terrible new name right here, and let's take a quick look at the box. Now, quite surprisingly, this is actually the smallest Nintendo handheld box I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's really, really small. In fact, out of all the Nintendo 3DS consoles, it seems to be getting smaller and smaller as they go on. So, here's a quick look at the box. It's actually sort of like advertising its new features. You've got Amiibo support, which is actually the thing I'm least interested in, to be honest. The C-Stick, which is something I'm so happy to see. The extra large screens, which are pretty much the same, just slightly different. And Super Stable 3D, were probably one of the best selling points for this newer version of the 3DS. So, let's take a quick look at the box. I got metallic black. As you all know, I love getting black on my devices. And as we go over here, 7 and up, because the 3D is not suited for kids who are under the age of 7, and that you would get included in the box. And this system does not include an AC adapter, unfortunately. In fact, I'm just going to have to reduce the brightness on my camera right there. But yes, this does not support an AC adapter, which is very unfortunate. They should have included one in the box, really. So yeah, that's a shame. But anyway, let's just get straight into the unboxing. And there's no tape around the box this time, which is quite surprising. I'm going to be very quick with this unboxing because I've already kind of seen what's in the box with other unboxings, and you get the same gump right here, AR cards. I mean, how many of you actually used this after the initial release of the 3DS? And apart from the... we haven't got any... Actually, the manuals are all in there, actually. I was expecting more manuals. So yes, here is the actual 3DS system itself. Now let's see if I can get it out of the packaging without actually ruining the sort of effect this time that I was actually going for last time. So, let's unveil the new Nintendo 3DS. Wow, this one is so much sleeker. I can tell you immediately, wow. Sorry, I never normally show that kind of excitement usually, or that much. But wow, I'm really impressed actually with this. I'll tell you why. The 3DS XL, the previous one, it was a matte finish, which a lot of people prefer, but this is a nice glossy, very reflective finish, and I liked that with the original Nintendo DS, the DS Lite. I mean, that was my first console, so I really do love the piano black looks. Even my PSP had that as well. So, let's just open... Well, before we open, let's take a quick look at the outside. Now, at the bottom here, I'm going to talk about right now, this is actually the thing I was least sort of like impressed by. The cartridge slot has been moved from the top down here. That is pretty much in the same place where it used to be. The stylus has been moved down here, which I question. I mean, the power button has been moved down here. Why do they have to do that? I mean, if this was a secondary little sort of like DS card slot, I mean, say we had one DS card slot on the top here, and a second one down here, so we can now have 2 games in the system at once, that would have been awesome. This would have been a great secondary port. I mean, that would have been an ingenious and new idea for these portable handhelds. But instead they just moved it down here. I have a nostalgic thing going on with the DS line, and I really miss this card slot being on the top. 3.5mm headphone jack has been moved from one of the corners to the middle, but that's fine, that's no worries. Stylus down here is a much better position than putting it on the top like the original 3DS did, but at the same time, you know, you could have put it down here, I'm pretty certain. And we've got the power button over here, which we'll see how I get along with that. It does seem to be very, very tiny, I'll tell you that though. 3D slider over here. We've got extra trigger buttons now, which is great to see. And also, we've got the volume slider on that side. So, let's open up the system. And there is the little protective film right here. And here is the actual insides. Now, I'm going to tell you, this looks very similar to the inside on the previous 3DS XL, but it just seems better quality. This D-pad seems to be moving around a bit, not D-pad, analog stick seems to be moving around a little bit more freely. I've never touched one of those in my life yet, but I'll get to it in a sec. So volume slider here, very, very stiff. Very stiff. 3D slider over here, also quite stiff. Well, not as stiff as the volume, but quite stiff. So we'll have to see how I get along with that. Maybe it'll smoothen itself out. Start select and home I've been moved from here, which is great because before it looked so bulky and ugly, even though many other people seem to like that part of the design. D-pad. And the buttons over here, which are not coloured quite as much as the SNES controllers, but I prefer this really. Start and select feel very nice. These buttons feel nice as well, a bit better than the previous ones. Shoulder buttons on the back, they feel very nice, and the R2 and L2 buttons feel slightly different from the R1 and R2. That's what I'm going to call them. And let's take a look at this D-pad, and I'm going to tell you, not D-pad, C-stick or whatever they call it. I'm going to tell you, it feels like absolute crap right now, I'm going to tell you that. I mean, maybe it'll function well in the actual games when you're playing it, but I'm moving it around right now. I'm going to give you a close-up on that. I'm moving it around. There's no indication of it moving, so I think I'm going to have to actually play one of the games to notice this, but it feels so stiff. I mean, you have a really nice circle pad right over here. It'll be nice to see another similar one over here or something. This just seems so stiff. Hopefully it'll work better in the game, so I haven't come to that any sort of conclusion right there. And we've got this camera now. I wouldn't mention the camera usually, but this is very important as it actually tracks your face, so this way the 3D has not got just one sweet spot. You can actually move around and still have a really good 3D effect, and I'm really curious and keen to give that a go. I've given it a very brief look with the normal, regular size new Nintendo 3DS inside a store. I didn't give it a proper look. So that's a quick look, a very quick look at this new 3DS XL. Now what we're going to do is compare it with other handhelds as well. We'll get to the 3DS XL in a minute, the original one, but let's take a look at the original 3DS, the one that started it all. And as you can see right here, the new XL is quite significantly bigger. And let's try opening both these up at the same time. The opening mechanism on this new 3DS XL also feels much better than the previous one. And I just want to turn that screen off right now if I can. There we go. And there you go, you can see screen sizes, analog sticks on both are nice, although I think it probably is a bit nicer on this one. It just was much easier to play games like Street Fighter and stuff with that. I know here you can see one shoulder button and everything, but this is still a very well designed console, and it's much better designed than the new ugly Nintendo 3DS Lite. That's what I'm calling it. It looks so much better than the ugly ones. I mean, seriously, that looked terrible. The faceplates, I mean, not really my type of thing at all. And let's look at this as a competitor right now, who the 3DS is really thrashing, the PS Vita. So we're going to really compare these top screens right here in size, and yeah, you can see around about the same. Thickness-wise, I'm not going to do a thickness with this. This is not really a fair fight right here. And let's over here bring out the Nintendo DS Lite, my first ever console. So I've got a real sweet spot for this, and things really have changed if you see this right here. So yeah, very similar controls on the inside. Screens are much bigger on the XL, and yeah, that's a quick look and test with this. However, let's see, has this gotten thinner over time than the... I'd say they're about the same thickness, surprisingly, this XL unit and the regular 3DS. DS Lite, I mean. So, let's put that off to the side. And let's take a look at the original PSP, which was also one of my favourite handhelds at the time. Size-wise like this, it's really quite small. It's like the PSP is barely just a tad bit longer than the XL. Just a bit longer, but, well, a bit wider. And let's take a look at screen sizes. I know you're all going to want to know how that is. And the 3DS XL has got a bigger screen than the PSP. This is the PSP 3000, by the way. And also, the resolution is bumped up and is doubled on the new 3DS XL, which will make games look much better than the previous version, so you shouldn't really have much of a problem with the resolution in that sense. And yes, that is practically all the comparisons, except before I sent back my previous 3DS XL, I did record some footage of it, so I'll just give you a quick look at both of them right now. And I don't know how they both compare, but you guys will probably definitely let me know, because you've seen the new 3DS XL, or the 3DS XL Lite as I'm calling it. You've seen what that looks like, and the 3DS XL in comparison, they look very very similar, but to tell you the truth, you really got to feel the new 3DS XL in order to actually sort of like appreciate its difference in aesthetics. I think it's very very good. It's different design choices, and I'm really looking forward to testing out the tracking feature with the 3D, and just the overall design of this one just feels so much nicer in hand. So, when I review the new 3DS XL, I'll let you know what I think in terms of the actual quality of the graphics on the screen and the overall experience, but so far that's a little comparison for you guys to sort of like see until my review comes about. So, thanks guys very very much for watching my unboxing and ultimate comparison of the new 3DS XL. Please stay tuned for my future coverage videos of various other smartphones and handsets, and more coverage of the Nexus 6, and also stay tuned for more coverage of the new Nintendo 3DS XL. Thanks very much for watching. Please follow me on my social networks. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Google+, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care.